You're listening to the Midwest Motorsports Cool Down Lap, the only podcast covering all 3 series in the league. Buckle up, because the Cool Down Lap starts now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Down Lap presented by Midwest Motorsports. You guys read the chat there in the Discord, you'll know that it's just me here tonight. James Johnson is out. He's not feeling too well, so just going to send him our wishes and hope that he gets to feeling better here soon so he can call our races. I know you guys have a road race, I believe, tomorrow at least, so again, hopefully he can get back at it and get feeling like himself. Also, if you read the Discord chat, we got a couple things to go over here tonight. We have the Brands Hatch winners we're going to go over. We have Bristol, which me, Justin, Eric, Heck, Dustin, Ryan Stedel was out there, and I believe Ty Williams was actually out there working one of the races. I didn't get to catch exactly which race it was, whether it was trucks or ARCA, but Ty Williams was out there working the race. So good job, man. I hope you had some fun doing it. You guys, I believe there is some of that in the Discord Real Racing, so you might be able to see some of those pictures. I know Dustin was posting some with him and Ty and just the racing all together. So without further ado, welcome back. It's been a couple weeks. I know we had the streaming PC go down. And once that came back up with Bristol coming up and everything, we thought it best just to push it back another week and give you guys some content. And boy, do we have some. Like we were saying, the trucks, the Xfinity, and Cup cars were out at Bristol over the weekend. This real racing here. And overall, great weekend for racing. I mean, there wasn't a cloud in sight. There was no threats of rain. There was absolutely just beautiful weather. I mean, sure, the last couple days it got a little warm. I'm not gonna fight that. It definitely got warm the last couple days, especially with the hills out in Bristol. If any of you guys have ever been down to the track at Bristol and actually walked around it, you realize it's not on flat ground. It's basically built into a mountain. And you feel it, man, when you're walking. You get going up these hills, down these hills, and your feet start to hurt, but it's still a beautiful track and highly recommend it. If anybody is looking for a race to go to that they're kind of on the fence, like, you want a good show or you want a good environment, Bristol. It's definitely there. I mean, you aren't going to get that tire race. I don't believe you're going to get that tire race you got every time you go there. But just the amount of things you can see on that track, the action, and I mean, in all honesty, the track itself, great place to be. So trucks were out there on Thursday. They ran after the ARCA cars. Man, the trucks put on a good show. Lane Riggs getting wrecked on lap 1, getting sent to the back, has to work his way back up to the front, and he ends up winning the race ultimately. But just the fact that you see him have to work his way back up from the back and just be methodical about it, definitely cool to see. But the fact they were able to use the high lane made that race a good race. It took about 40 laps for it to actually wear in, get that PJ1 to work its way up the track, and then you started seeing guys go up and kind of lazy up into the corner and speed off into the backstretch and make time. So good for Lane Riggs. It's good to see. Good to see it wasn't the Corey Heim show out there. I mean, Corey Heim's a great racer, but sometimes when you go out there and he just leads and it's just on and on and on and on and on, yeah, it can kind of take away from the show a little bit. So trucks, good show. I was there for it. I'm not even a Ford performance guy, I was there for it. That was a good show by Lane Riggs. Xfinity. The Xfinity race was going on Friday. Basically, the only thing that went on that day, besides practice and qualifying for Cup. But Xfinity put on another good show. I mean, you started to see they put down the PJ one again in the morning. Took about 30 laps for that top lane to work its way in, and once that happened, you see these guys going up, lazying up in the corner. It was interesting watching the corner entry and stuff and seeing how that stuff works out, seeing exactly how they enter the corner and just lazy up and then rocket off it, kind of like they're doing like a lazy diamond in a way. Not as sharp, just rounded and right down and out. Kind of gets me excited to go there and race next season in Oval, seeing these guys actually go up and use the top part of the track. Eric Almirola ended up coming away with the win there. You were thinking it was going to be a JRM car, but I think like the last 30 laps, they had an accident. And they ended up pitting, and Connor Zilish relinquished the lead to Eric Almirola, and he was not giving that thing back. So good job to him. It was, again, another good race, fun one to watch. And Saturday, Cup rolls around. You know, during practice and stuff for Cup, even we got the opportunity to go to like a fan experience since Eric decides to camp there every year. They were like, here, you know, come check this out. And we got to watch a couple drivers, Cole Custer, Cody Ware, and Zane Smith kind of give their thoughts on the race and stuff. And none of them really thought tire wear was going to be a big deal. Except Zane Smith, which I was kind of perplexed by because I'm like, I didn't hear anything about tire wear. And then Zane Smith kind of, we had a little bit around lap 40. So nobody went into it thinking it was going to be a tire wear race. And then, you know, we're watching it and you see Denny Hamlin drop off drastically. You see AJ Allmendinger drop off drastically. And you just see everybody just one after another just drop off the pace. And I remember watching that spring race whenever those tires started going, and you've seen it looked like there were issues with the cars and such. So you're like, oh, well, maybe they're having issues with tires. And then you start to see the rubber building up in the corners, and you're like, okay, yeah, definitely tire issues. So about the first, I think Ryan Blaney stretched him the furthest. Kyle Larson and a few other cars stretched him about 70 laps. And everybody else dipped in about 30, 40 laps in. And then you start to hear on the radio how they're going to give another set of tires, which sitting there talking with Eric and them guys, I don't agree with. Like, you guys know they softened the tire. I mean, sure, in practice, it didn't show it. But after that first run, when you have the 30 laps and you know, like, oh gosh, I burnt my stuff up, then you as a driver need to make up for that difference. Slow it down, save your stuff. You have to make that work. But Goodyear jumped into action, started getting another set ready for each of the drivers for stage 3. And honestly, as I sat there and I watched the racing and stuff, and this is where I'm kind of hoping on the community here to kind of give me your thoughts on this. I felt like the tires was just another gimmick to the Cup Series. The fact that, and this is how I took it, the fact that they had to take these tires and make them so soft for this car to actually put on a good show kind of upset me. Trucks didn't have a special tire. You know, they didn't have a special right side tire. Xfinity didn't have a special right side tire. And they put on 2 great shows where you were able to utilize the entire track. Sure, there was some chaos and drama and disparity brought on in the Cup Series because you got guys falling off at a rapid pace. You got these new guys on tires bumping them out of the way. But that's manufactured, in my opinion. That's NASCAR and Goodyear coming up with a band-aid to try and make this car appealable at short track. And in my opinion, I don't agree with it. So that's what I got with it. If anybody in the chat has has a different opinion on it, I'll go ahead and post something in there. YouTube chat if you guys want to say something. Discord, you want to pop something in the general, go ahead. I just feel that out of all the races at Bristol, it was a good race. You know, there was drama and stuff, but I just don't agree with how they accomplished with making that race good. It should be the drivers and the car. You shouldn't have to mutilate that tire to the point where it's also unsafe for some of the Ford guys. Their cars catching fire. But again, that's where I felt with it. If I had to rank the races, I'd probably put the Truck Series, Hand Xfinity at a close 1-2 there, and Cup in my opinion. And I know Eric and Justin probably just say it's because of my driver going down so many laps. You know, it is what it is. But when you have to manufacture the race, you have to make it gimmicky. You have to put something in there to actually make this car appealable, in my opinion. It just kind of takes away from it for me. So, love to hear your guys' opinion on it. Anybody that watched the Bristol race, go ahead, post it up in the YouTube chat. Or if you're listening to this at a later date time, post it in Discord. If you don't feel comfortable posting something out there because you think it's going to be a hot take and nobody's really going to agree with it, DM me. I would love to get everybody else's take on this, whether I'm just looking at this wrong, whether I'm looking at this through jaded lenses or however they would call it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Christopher Bell ended up winning the Cup Series race. Hard charging Brad. I was pulling for Brad Keselowski towards the end because the guy's just had such a rough season. You know, he's either getting second or he's wrecking or he's just wrapped up in some sort of bad luck. And, you know, leading up to that last caution, if he just had just a smidge bit more patience, and I can't remember who he put into Bubba. If he didn't bump them up into Bubba and bring out that accident, he probably would have had it. Either it would have been that or a close race between him and Hosevar. But um, heartbreaker for Brad. And these guys head off in the Loudon next week. So we'll see how that goes. That's normally Christopher Bell's playground. And typically he usually runs away with it there. So we'll see what they do. See if maybe they have to gimmick it up again. But Bristol altogether, great time. Take your kids, take your family. Great track. And honestly, there's only a few bad seats in the house whenever the sun's in your eyes. Once it goes down, you're good. So that's it for what I got for this week in real stuff. We'll move on to congratulate our Road Series guys. I honestly, with everything happening last week, over the weekend with Bristol, I did not get a chance to watch the road race. I apologize, road guys. I'll make it up to you on the next race. I'll watch it and I'll have some great notes for y'all. But for this week, we'll just have to give you guys the winners and the points. And then we can move on to what our Oval Series is going to look like next season. So Ryan Glover, that's a new name. I don't recall seeing that one in the winner's circle before. Honestly, I'm usually pretty good about keeping up with our new members. And that one looks like a new name to me. So Ryan Glover came home with the AM win, driving the BMW out there at Brands Hatch. Congrats, man. Wait, he's a What Apex Racing team member? You guys got to help me out with that one. Has he been here for a while or is he new and just hopping in? So congrats to you, Ryan Glover. And I believe Johan DeRoy there brought home the win in the carbon fiber radical. Nice job, man. Number 5 there. He's I know the DeRoy's been around the league for a little bit, so congrats on the win. Not sure if you're full time on this or if you're hitting and missing some races, but congrats on the win out there at Brands Hatch. I'm sure it was a great race. It looks like there's another car there right within. Oh, yeah. So that's just an optical illusion. So that guy, he was probably lapping there, but still a great race by Johan. And congrats on the win, man. Go ahead and hop over to our points here for the Road Series. Again, if anybody wants to catch that Road Series race, say you were racing it and you didn't get to see the action, or if you have not raced in it and you kind of want to see what the Road Series is doing with this new format, hop on to the Midwest Motorsports iRacing YouTube page. You guys can catch all those races we do. You can go back and you can check them out in our library. So feel free to hop on, check that stuff out while you're there. Like, share, subscribe. You guys have friends that are on the fence about getting into racing and, aren't sure if they want to do some racing, send them over some videos. I know we put on some great races for the league, so send those off to your friends and let's see if we can get some more people in here. So we got our AM points up on the screen. Ryan Glover out there in the lead. Kyle Ryan, second place. He's only 108 points back. Rick Bundren, 199 points back in third place from the leader. Ron Kabiltas, 210 points back from the leader. And Roger Shank, 218 points back from the lead, fifth place. For the Pro Series, looks like Johan has the lead there. Michael Odell, 136 points back in second. Jason Wahlberg, 254 points back from the lead in third. Christopher Rowe, 379 points back in fourth. And Caden Richardson, 545 points back from the lead in fifth. So congrats to our Road Series drivers. Hope you guys had a fun race out there in Brands Hatch. I know that track can be fun. It can also be technical and challenging. So hopefully everybody had a good time doing it. Next race we have is Sebring. That one is tomorrow. You guys can catch the broadcast. I believe broadcast goes live at 7:20ish. So guys, hop on the YouTube, watch that if you aren't racing in it, and cheer on your favorite drivers. So, Oval Series. We're moving into a new season, guys. We're moving on from season 9 to season 10. If you see anything, if you any Oval guys are watching this, see anything, you got any questions, go ahead, reach out to myself, reach out to no, honestly, just go ahead and reach out to me. I can get you an answer, or I can get the best person to get you an answer. And we can try and answer any questions anybody has, because there are some pretty big changes happening in Oval. It might not be Truck Series, might be more our Sunday series, but anybody participating that has any questions, reach out to me. And without further ado, we're going to start with some schedule releasing. So we're going to start with the trucks. Oh, hang on. I'm trying to get my thing here to work. Without further ado, with a drum roll, you guys just play that one out in your head. Oh, wrong button. Okay. All right. So, Truck Series. I have the schedule up here. It's going to be released on our Discord here momentarily. The Truck Series Season 10 schedule. We are starting out in Homestead, October 10th. So October 10th is going to be our first night there. Our first night back racing Oval. The idea, as you guys look over the schedule and kind of take in what's going on, the idea is that we're going to do some recruitment races, probably starting next week. try to get 2 or 3 recruitment races in to try and get some numbers up for both cup and truck. So if you guys have any ideas, anything that sounds like it would be fun, anything that you think you would enjoy running on a Friday night and just kind of having some fun with in the trucks, send it over to me. DM me, give me your thoughts on what would be a fun race. That way we can get this rolling, we can get it in motion, and we can start to get some more like minded members in the league so we can make our racing better. Some of the tracks that kind of stand out to me here on the truck series schedule. The fact we're going out to Darlington, and I believe, let me pull up my notes here, but I believe that the Darlington race is our full race, or it's like our crown jewel race in the truck series, which is going to be a relatively long race. So yeah, truck crown jewel is Darlington. So you guys will be doing that long race, and it ought to be a fun time. Darlington is a tough track, very technical. I know you guys have ran it in the truck before, but when you're running that thing at 75%, I think, of what our a full truck race is there, it's going to be a long one. So guys, get prepared for that one. That's March 27th. So you got a little bit of time. Nashville Super Speedway. It's going to be the end of the season race for trucks. Nice track. It's a relatively easy track for y'all, so you can kind of go in there and kind of relax during the last race. You guys voted on the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for being the international race for truck. So we threw that one in there for December 19th, give you some Christmas racing before we go on our break. And aside from that, I mean, we got a couple shorter tracks in there. We haven't got to Bristol or Martinsville yet with the truck series. Baby steps. We got some Dover in there. We got the Milwaukee Mile. I believe New Hampshire's in there again. Richmond. So Richmond's technically not that short, but we got some mile tracks. Aside from that, that's our truck series schedule. There aren't very many big changes coming to the truck. Your guys' start time's the same. You know, practice our session opens at 8:30 p.m., qualifying at 9:40, race start at 10. Or immediately following qualifying if it's an oval track. So thoughts, opinions, shoot them on over. Let me know what you guys think on the truck series schedule. If you wanted to, grab a screenshot of that. It's going to be posted in our Discord. Otherwise, here shortly. Next up is I'm going to use our stock car series. So I got to pull up my notes again to make sure I don't say something I ain't supposed to tonight, because I've been pretty good about that lately. Saying things that are kind of spoilers. All right. So there's a lot changing in our Sunday series. A lot. The car's changing. That was put up for vote, and the majority of people voted against going back to the next gen. So we're moving on to the Xfinity car. So instead of calling it the Midwest Motorsports Xfinity series, we're running it on Sunday. We're just coming up with a name for the stock car series. So anybody who's planning on running on Sunday, get some practice in the Xfinity car. That's going to be the car we're running. Get some practice in and get ready for it. The times have changed for the Sunday series. All right. So it used to be we'd start the race at 7 p.m. or sorry, we'd start the session at 7. We'd end up at 7:30. We'd start the race. So we're actually bumping that back an hour just to try and give everybody some time to either finish watching your NASCAR race, finish getting your time with your family in and stuff, and getting ready for the evening. So we're bumping the race start back by an hour. So our practice session, like the session in general, is going to start at 7 p.m. on Sundays. So we're going to have our hour-long practice session that we moved to last season. Qualifying is going to start at 8:15 p.m. This is all Eastern time. And then our race is going to start immediately following qualifying. Now that I look at this, I need our graphics guy. He's gonna have to fix that. So qualifying starting at 8:20 p.m. and the race is starting immediately after qualifying. So if it's an oval race, we're going to start at 8:25 p.m. If it's a road series race, we'll start at 8:30. So I'll have to send that one off to our social media guy to correct that. But aside from that, the schedule's correct. So we're taking the Xfinity car out to Phoenix to start the season on October 12th. We're also ending in Nashville on May 17th. The international race that the league voted on is Silverstone. We'll be going out there December 14th. And our crown jewel race, so our long race, is on March 15th for Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So that's going to be a long one, guys. Very interested in seeing you getting this car back out to Atlanta of old, getting it back out to Rockingham, getting it back out to Bristol, Iowa, and just seeing how this car runs since they've updated some of those tracks, not all of them, some of those tracks, and getting back into that H pattern. I don't know about you guys. I love running the H pattern in these cars, rowing the gears, and not having the shifting corners anymore. That's going to be weird. So there's going to be some adjustments. Definitely interested in seeing what kind of racing we can get out of this, and seeing, I guess, as a league, how receptive we are to this style of car and racing. So I know Xfinity back in the day put on some good racing in our league. You know, everybody liked the car, but it wasn't feasible for us as a group to keep 3 different series going at once. It was just a lot to try and juggle and stuff. So now we're kind of getting the best of both worlds. So we're moving that time back an hour, and we're going to kind of see how everything goes with this. Now, aside from that, I think I might have a couple other things to touch up on. And then from there, we should be good to go. So, registration, guys, registration's going to start. Our current members can look out for that on Tuesday. So, if you're a current member in the league, registration for Oval is going to start this Tuesday. Saturday, we're aiming on going live with registration on the website. So that means if you aren't a current league member, you're listening to the podcast, you're kind of lurking out there trying to see if this is something that interests you. Saturday, you can get on the website and register. Same thing with the truck series as the Xfinity. Well, so our stock car series. Recruitment races are going to start. We're going to start these as soon as we can. If you guys have any thoughts on what a great track would be with this Xfinity car, shoot me a message. Get me your opinion. We can make it happen. We want to try and get as many people in this series as possible. Try and get our numbers up and try to have some fun. So If anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, anything regarding the stock car series, this season upcoming, anything regarding the schedule, thoughts on changing the car, shoot them over. I'd be happy to talk through it with you, kind of get you an idea on how all this stuff kind of came to be and such. And there are rule updates, so I'll go over that at a different time. We do have updates to the rule books that we need to touch up on. Uh, there's a lot. So our Sunday series mostly got the biggest changes out of everything. Fridays, you guys are kind of normal, except for rule changes. So make sure you guys post in the Discord your thoughts on everything. Again, I'm going to be posting in the announcements channel the schedules here shortly. Throw your opinion out there. Let us know what everything looks like, what your thoughts are on the schedule, so we know kind of gauge how everything's looking. And aside from that, that's all I got for the week. I mean, it's a short podcast tonight. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of banner back and forth since James couldn't make it out. But send him a well wish card, a gift or something, make him feel a little bit better. And hopefully he's out there to call a race for y'all tomorrow. But to quote James Johnson and end out the podcast, everybody have a great week. And remember to stay in your lane.